over will be WrestleMania. And, you know, what's that?
That didn't happen this year.
Oh, this year. Oh, yeah. This year. I mean, we'll get into that later on this year and all like that. That's something I want to ask you, too. But I just want to talk real quick about one WrestleMania. We talked about it earlier, and that's why, you know, I'm wearing the shirt right now. I'm bigging up my man Kofi Kingston for WrestleMania 35, you know? Like this year's WrestleMania was like, it was chill just because of what's going on in the world, not just wrestling, but the world. The fact that they had to have their event, you know, in an empty arena, you know, and it's sad for someone like Drew that's paid his dues and he didn't get that moment. But I mean, in my selfish ways, I'm glad that Kofi did. You know, that gives me goosebumps to this very day. And, you know, and I'm so proud that I was able to see that, you know, since before I passed away, you know. The question I want to ask you is, to me, that was a shocking moment. To me, I don't know about you if that was shocking to you. But I want to ask you, what is 3 shocking WrestleMania moments that affected you even to this very day?
Wow, that's a fucking hard one. You mean shocking or just like my favorite moments?
I mean, I'm talking about if you replay WrestleMania right now, that moment would still give you chills, still give you goosebumps, or piss you off, or make you happy, sad, whatever. It just gives you an emotion. Even if you saw it 100 times, you still get that emotion.
Fuck. I mean, obviously doesn't change what he did, but Benoit winning the title at WrestleMania 20 when Eddie came and they hugged afterwards.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Fuck, I always get choked up every time I see that shit. By the way, did you watch the Benoit documentary, right?
From the dark side?
Yeah.
Yeah. I caught every episode. I caught up, you know, the recent one today.
That shit was so bad, man. Just especially when they described how Eddie died, that shit like had me in tears. Yeah. Literally had me in tears. But anyway, back to the Mania moments. Another one I would pick is Flair's retirement. Flair's retirement for sure.
Oh yeah, that's another great one.
And I want to go to the 90s with this one, so I will say, honestly, Warrior beating Hogan at WrestleMania 6 and the aftermath when Hogan gave him the belt and they hugged.
Oh yeah.
And they gave that shot of like Hogan on the cart going away like with a sad look on his face.
The first Mania that had a face versus face match.
Yeah, and it was basically Hogan being replaced. Hogan had been the top guy for so many years, and that basically Warrior beating him was the end of that era. It was the end of pretty much the Hogan era and the end of that 80s golden era too, if you really think about it.
Yeah, and Warrior did nothing with it.
Nope. Well, a part of it, I won't really blame him because of the feuds they put him in, but just in general, he was not Hogan. Hell, he wasn't even Macho Man.
Macho Man, that's another day, another topic. Man, I can go on and on about that Macho Man.
His anniversary is coming up in a couple weeks too, the 20th.
Well, then that's a topic to discuss then, you know?
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you my 3. Go ahead.
Right,
no, finish your statement.
You said 3, so I gave you 3 already.
Yeah. My 3 is definitely the Kofi Kingston. That's why I bring up the whole 3. That
great moment, fucking great moment.
That's when. And to this day, when I watch it, now I don't know about this one, the second one. To this day, that I watch it, that gives me but I know that moment it did because I was so into it. Talking about Macho Man versus the Warrior when he had to retire, which I thought he was leaving wrestling. I was in tears. You know, I was a little kid.
Supposed to, if you know the backstory.
Oh yeah. Now I know the backstory of everything like that. But that moment, I hated it. I hated Sherry. I was kicking him, you know, I was cursing her out. I was cursing the war. I hated life. I was at my grandparents. They were like, yo, calm down. I'm like, no.
You hated Warrior for beating him?
Yeah, Macho Man, the Heart Foundation was always my people's. Always.
Oh, that must have been an extra bad night for you because the Heart Foundation lost the titles that
night too. The Nasty Boys. Yeah, it wasn't.
Fucking Nasty Boys, son. Yeah. The fucking Nasty Boys.
Yeah, and the number one to me is, which we'll move on to the next topic, is can't believe it to this day. I can't. And I never can watch. I could watch that WrestleMania over and over, but I would skip that match. Brock versus Undertaker. The end of the streak. Yeah, I can't watch that match to this day.
The match itself isn't the greatest, but yeah, that moment when he beats him is
It's
fucking will go down in history, man, for
I
better or worse.
I wasn't able to watch it live on pay-per-view because I was at a friend's birthday and I ended up watching the next day. But I woke up with my eyes, just waking up and get to a text of and all I saw was my friend said, just put the number on. It was like 21-1 Undertaker. I'm like, dude, how you gonna ruin that shit for me?
Yeah, it kind of got ruined for me too.
My whole day
I
was
was,
ruined.
yeah, I freaking went to, at the time when it happened, I was in Vegas, right? And then I went to a pool party that afternoon, and then right when I got out of the pool party, I put it on. And then right when I was putting it on, it was at the end of the Undertaker match, and the crowd was cheering him. I'm like, no fucking way. He fucking lost? And then I went on Facebook, and it said 21-1. I'm like, no, you can't be fucking serious. And then I watched the whole show from the beginning, and then when I got to the Brock match, and then Brock beat him, I'm like, yo, this shit is fucking unreal. Like, they actually fucking beat his ass.
Now, that's what I want to lead into. Do you agree they should have ended the streak?
It's complicated, man. I mean, on the one side, I want to say yes because he was getting older, and it was also a good rub for Brock, especially in that year after. But on the other side, you could have like ridden this shit up until now because he didn't even retire after that.
Not even with the Roman match, he didn't retire.
Yeah, he should have retired at least at 3 WrestleManias, and in all 3 of them, he fucking ruined it. Especially the last one.
Well, my opinion is, in a business standpoint, I get it. It was WrestleMania 30. You wanted a shock. You want a big thing. Yes, it boosted Brock Lesnar, but did it really need to boost Brock? And
well, in all honesty, he was kind of cold when he came back a little bit, but then when that happened, that should like put him on another level.
He was untouchable after that. I just think that it shouldn't have happened. I think that's something that we always look for. Now, everything he does after that is meaningless. We always want to assume he might lose this one, but we really don't want him to lose. We want the end of the night where he kneels down and the number goes up and the fireworks explodes and all. We always want that moment. Like we want to believe that this may be it. But after that, it's like, okay, like all his like the next the year following the Bray Wyatt, it could have been that one that we would assume that, oh my God, changing the guard is this and that. No, and even if they did the Sting match, Sting versus Taker, that could have been like, oh, we could have assumed. But I like to assume, but I don't want to see it actually happen. That's why I watch the business, man. I like you to disbelieve my beliefs for the moment. And I, to this very day, would never agree. I get it in a business sense, but I mean, you're such a huge company that you didn't have to do that. Like the one guy who stuck with you through thick and thin, you should have just gave him that. Like, let him have that.
But the thing is that it came to a point where the streak match was as big, if not bigger, than the title match. There were certain years when the streak match was the main event, and it wasn't even for the title.
And I definitely agree. That was the Shawn Michaels and Taker match, and I definitely agree with you in that. Now it's like
it was a draw for WrestleMania. It was like one of the biggest draws for the entire show.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Let me ask you, when did you realize he had a streak?
I realized it at WrestleMania 13 because JR said it on commentary. He said The Undertaker has never lost at WrestleMania, and from that point on, I knew it, and then it just went from there.
Oh, you knew 13? I knew a little further down. I knew 18 when he fought Ric Flair, and at the end, you saw him counting. He was doing the counting on his hands.
I actually watched that match a few weeks ago. It still holds up.